buckle up, folks, because today we're diving into the deep end of misconceptions about gaming. You see, somewhere along the line, the world decided that every gamer must fit into one of two categories. Either you're a socially isolated tech wizard, probably coding games for the Matrix, or you're a basement dweller with the social skills of a potato. And let's be real, neither of those is accurate. In fact, you'll be shocked to learn that gamers come in all shapes, sizes, and types. But we don't all have a high-tech setup with RGB lights flashing in sync with our heartbeats. No, some of us are just regular people playing regular games on whatever console we could afford after, paying bills and buying groceries. We're not in some underground lab hacking into the government servers. We're just out here having fun. I know, scandalous, right? Today, I want to break down some of the most laughable misconceptions non-gamers have about this wonderful world we call gaming. So for anyone who thinks they understand gamers but has never picked up a controller, here's a crash course. Spoiler alert, there will be no mention of 4 a.m. code, no discussion of 360 no-scope headshots, and no tutorials on how to become a virtual basement troll. Instead, let's talk about the side of gaming that doesn't get enough love. The community, the diversity, and the sheer joy of play. So without further ado, let's set the record straight on what it really means to be a gamer in today's world. And hey, maybe after this, non-gamers will realize we're not all glued to our screens planning the next level of world domination simulator. So let's start with the big one. Gaming is a legitimate form of entertainment. Yeah. You heard me. Just like movies, TV shows, and books, video games are an art form, a storytelling medium that deserves respect. But no, every time I mention gaming, I get the eye roll and the classic, oh, isn't that just a bunch of button smashing? As if non-gamers are somehow spending their time on higher forms of entertainment. Let's take a look at some of the things that folks in the 40 to 70-something range consider quality entertainment. We're talking binge-watching crime dramas where, spoiler alert, the detective always solves the case, or soap operas that have more plot twists in a week than a year of Game of Thrones. Or how about competitive gardening, arguing over who grew the best tomatoes this year, riveting stuff. Oh, and let's not forget bird watching, because nothing says excitement like waiting 2 hours to maybe catch a glimpse of a rare sparrow. And rewatching home improvement shows they already know the ending to, as if it's somehow going to surprise them this time. Oh, look, honey, the twins went with the farmhouse sink. Thrilling. Or what about crossword puzzles? Spending hours staring at a black and white boxes looking up words they'll never use again. Or golf on TV? If you could watch someone hit a tiny ball across a massive green field for hours and call it thrilling, but video games are mindless, then I don't know what to tell you. At least my games have a storyline. Let's be real here. Gaming has come a long way from the days of Pong. Modern games have the same richness, the same depth as any Oscar-winning movie or best-selling novel. Hell, some games go beyond. They're visual art, storytelling, and interactive experience all rolled into one. Think about The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption 2. These aren't just games. They're masterpieces. We're talking intricate plots, character development, jaw-dropping visuals, and soundtracks that could bring this grown man to tears. And these games are immersive. You're not just watching the story happen, you're in it. You're making decisions that can change the outcome, solving problems, and making split-second choices. You're connecting with these characters, feeling their pain, their triumphs. It's a fully emotional, three-dimensional experience. It's honestly more engaging than half the classic entertainment out there. And yet, somehow, gaming doesn't get the credit it deserves. I remember the last time a game made me cry like a baby. What Remains of Edith Finch. And I'm just going to say it. There are spoilers here, but it's been out for a while, so no excuses. This game is an emotional roller coaster. It follows Edith Finch as she returns to her family house to uncover the tragic fates of her relatives. Now, the house itself is like a snapshot of every person's life frozen in time. You walk into each room, and it's as if they just left. And each room has its own mini story, its own way of pulling you in. two stories wrecked me. The first was Gregory's. You're literally playing as a little kid, maybe a year old, maybe two, sitting in a bathtub with his toys. And you're splashing around. You start seeing the toys come to life, floating around you. The game becomes this joyful, innocent scene, and then it hits you. Gregory is drowning. And maybe it's because I'm a dad, but that moment just crushed me. I had to stop playing for the night because it was too real, too heartbreaking. Then there's Edith's own story, the final one. She's walking through the house, piecing together her family's curse, coming to grips with the tragic legacy that she's been born into. And by the end of it, I was a mess. The whole thing left me staring at the credits, just sitting there with tears in my eyes. You tell me that's just a game. That's art. This is what non-gamers don't get. Games can create worlds so vivid, so immersive, that you feel like you're living in them. They pull you in. They get you invested. They make you think about things you wouldn't otherwise consider. They provide the same kind of emotional and intellectual stimulation as a beautifully shot movie or a well-written novel. They're just a valid form of artistic expression, but they add this extra layer of interactivity. You're involved in the story, not just watching it. That's the beauty of gaming. So yeah, when someone dismisses gaming as mindless, I just have to laugh. Because if they spend 5 minutes experiencing what we gamers do, they'd see that gaming is so much more than a bunch of pixels. It's storytelling at its finest. And for anyone who thinks gaming isn't a legitimate form of entertainment, try telling that to someone who just lost their favorite character in The Last of Us 2, or watch Arthur Morgan's final ride in Red Dead Redemption 2. All right, here's another truth bomb for all the non-gamers out there. Gaming can be a social experience. Yep, you heard that right. Contrary to the stereotype, most of us aren't locked in a basement staring at a screen in solitude. There are so many games out there that actually require teamwork, collaboration, and communication. And it's not just, let's get together and button smash. Games like Fortnite, Overwatch, and Call of Duty bring people together to strategize, plan, and sometimes even, dare I say, make friends. You know, kind of like a social event, but with less small talk and more explosions. And let's not forget the communities that surround these games. We've got platforms like Discord, Reddit, and a ton of game-specific forums where people gather to discuss every single detail, no matter how small. My kids, they're glued to these platforms. Like when they watch YouTube videos of people speculating on what the next big thing in Fortnite is going to be like. It's like watching sports fans dissecting every play before the Super Bowl. Only here, they're talking about which skin might drop next or what the next in-game live event will bring. And then we've got esports. Now, if you're over a certain age, esports might sound like a fake word, but it's real and it's huge. It's the competitive gaming scene that has absolutely exploded. These days, if you ask a teenager what they want to be when they grow up, they might say a professional gamer. And guess what? It's actually a legitimate career now. Some of these players get paid more than most people make in a year. And they're sponsored like NASCAR drivers. Imagine going to work with Red Bull, Adidas, and Mountain Dew logos on your shirt, getting paid to play video games. Not exactly the waste of time non-gamers may get out to be, right? Honestly, it's fun to chat with other players while going through the highs and lows together. There's something about surviving a chaotic match with friends that just brings people together. And it's not just fun, it actually teaches skills like communication and teamwork. I make it a point to play with my sons once a week for a little over an hour each kid. If you're curious, you can watch us on Twitch. The link will be in the description. Just be warm. There will be lots of kid voices talking over each other. It's a real treat if you can get past that. I don't mind it though. They're my boys, and I know that there'll come a time when they don't want to game with me anymore. One day they'll hit me with the classic line that every dad actually hears, something like, sorry, but pass. You know it's coming, where dad jokes become dad just no. So I'm taking every loud, chaotic gaming session I can get with them before they become too cool for their old man. But I do play stuff that they like. So the top 3 games that we normally play, that you'll see us play, is Phasmophobia, Fortnite, and Rocket League. Anyways, let's get back on track. Here's another gem for you. Gaming isn't just for kids. I know. Shocking, right? For some reason, a lot of non-gamers still have this idea that video games are like what? Digital babysitters. They think we're all just smashing buttons on kid-friendly consoles, throwing banana peels in Mario Kart and screaming Pikachu like it's still 1998. But here's the truth. Gaming has evolved. There's an entire universe of games out there, many of which tackle themes more mature than half the shows these people watch. Again, look at The Last of Us. Look at BioShock or The Witcher. These games don't just have adult themes. They have stories, characters, and decisions that make you think. We're talking complex, thought-provoking narratives that rival any good book or Netflix drama. And let's be honest, some of these games require serious strategic thinking and problem-solving skills. Games like Civilization or any real-time strategy game don't just hand you easy wins. You have to earn them. But try explaining that to non-gamers. They look at you like you just told them you're training to be a Jedi. Meanwhile, they're out here binge-watching reality TV marathons. I mean, come on. Half these people spend hours on sports, literally watching other people play a game, and we're the ones wasting time? For me, gaming is the ultimate stress reliever. After a long day, there's nothing better than escaping into a good game. It's like a mini vacation, only without TSA lines and overpriced snacks. Non-gamers think it's just a time waster, but hey, binge-watching 20 episodes of Friends for the 8th time in the row isn't exactly Nobel Prize material either. At least when I play games, I'm solving problems, making decisions, and engaging with the story. It's my way of relaxing, no different from, say, hey, watching tennis on TV, aka napping with extra steps. Or my personal favorite, endlessly checking social media like every refresh is going to reveal the meaning of life. For me, gaming is the perfect escape. It lets me dive into worlds and stories that make life's chaos seem a little more manageable. Maybe I'm playing a racing game. Maybe I'm getting a victory royale in Fortnite. Some people find peace in farming simulators like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, where the biggest worry is whether your crops are growing or if your virtual neighbor is happy. Others get that sense of accomplishment by leveling up or completing quests. Let's be real. Sometimes life doesn't let you check off every to-do on your list. But in a game, I could finish tasks, achieve goals, and level up. It's like an instant self-esteem boost. And gaming isn't all about escapism. It's a way to socialize too. Online multiplayer games connect people, foster friendships, and yes, even help combat loneliness. Some folks unwind with casual glass of wine. I unwind with a squad match in Fortnite where I can bond with players across the world. It's a social outlet that brings people together. But unlike a night of alcohol, I'm not left with a headache the next day. Now, for those who think gaming takes no skill, think again. Whether it's hand-eye coordination, strategic thinking, or managing complex systems, gaming requires some serious chops. I mean, come on. I've seen more planning and mental gymnastics in a single round of Civilization than some people put into their entire week. And yet the skeptics continue to dismiss gaming. Sure, because clearly it's easy to memorize combos, executive split-second moves, and manage a whole kingdom. That's all just child's play, right? Meanwhile, they're out here struggling to figure out their smartphone. I don't understand how this works, says the high-salary lawyer. And don't get me started on the same folks who don't let their kids near a game console or a PC. They think gaming rots your brain, as if kids are better off watching 10 hours of reality TV or scrolling through TikTok nonstop. But games can be educational too. I mean, just look at Portal. It teaches problem solving and critical thinking. Or how about Assassin's Creed, which drops you into a meticulously recreated historical settings. One of my favorites was Assassin's Creed Origins, set in ancient Egypt. It even has an educational mode that lets you explore Egypt's history, culture, and architecture without any combat. It's like getting a history lesson, but without the boring lectures. And games teach other skills too. There are tech-heavy games that improve language comprehension. Strategy games like Kerbal Space Program, which has you calculating rocket trajectories. My middle child scored high on his science test last year, and I'm pretty sure Minecraft had to do with it. That game teaches everything from basic chemistry, hello, crafting elements, to geometry. You try building an elaborate castle without some spatial awareness. Plus, I've seen the stuff my kids build in Minecraft. They're like little architects in training. Now, for those who say they should be outside playing with their friends, hey, guess what? They are playing with friends. Multiplayer games require communication, teamwork, and sometimes even negotiation skills. And if you're worried about real-world skills, well, there are games for that too. I love management and tycoon games like SimCity, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Planet Coaster, and 2 Point Hospital. These games teach budgeting, resource allocation, and supply and demand. I'm basically learning economics while building a theme park, which is more than I can say for some of the time wasters out there or even education systems. But I'll leave that topic for Papa's Fear Dad Unplugged podcast. And if you're really worried about health and fitness, VR games have got you covered. I've worked up a serious sweat playing Beat Saber, boxing, and pistol whip. So, yeah, gaming can even double as a workout if you want it to. You don't see that happening with the Netflix marathon, do you? And here's one more thing I want all you non-gamers to understand. Not all gamers are the same. You got casual gamers like me, competitive gamers, indie game lovers, and yes, the occasional toxic player who thinks they're a gift to the gaming world. But here's the beauty of modern gaming. It's incredibly easy to block, mute, and just plain ignore them. Problem solved. Gaming brings together people from all walks of life. I mean, where else can you find a global community that includes people from different cultures, backgrounds, and abilities, all coming together to share an experience? Gaming creates that space where everyone can connect, and there's a place for everyone. And not every gamer is chasing fame or high scores or trying to win some imaginary trophy. For most of us, it's simply about having fun, exploring new worlds, and just soaking up every bit of the experience. So, dear non-gamers, stop assuming the gaming world is just a cesspool of toxicity and nonsense. It's a place where we unwind, laugh, and make memories just like any other hobby you cherish. To all the gamers out there, don't let anyone make you feel bad for doing what you love. Whether you're building cities, exploring alien planets, or just relaxing in a virtual forest, keep doing you. Remember, the real magic of gaming isn't in the win screen or the leaderboard. It's in the moments that make you smile, laugh, and maybe even cry. And to the non-gamers, maybe give gaming a chance. Who knows? You might just find yourself in a world you never expected. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, preferably a 5-star one. I hear it helps with my self-esteem. And follow us on all of those social media platforms where we all waste entirely too much time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know the drill. If you want to see me gaming live, you can catch me on Twitch. I'm mostly playing with my sons, so get ready to hear some chaotic family commentary and the occasional sibling arguments. The link will be in the description. And for my fellow Fortnite and Rocket League players, you can support me directly in the item shop. Just click on support a creator and type in out of place, no spaces. That's OUTOFPLACE, because hey, every little bit counts. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode, or maybe on the battlefield if you're lucky. Until then, remember, play what you love, ignore the haters, and don't go easy on the camping.